Hi, my name is Paul Blaschko, and I'm part of the summer PWall redesign team. And this is the first of a series of tutorial videos that we're going to be releasing on the Facebook page. Today's topic is empathy mapping and backward design. The redesign team, one thing that we really like to emphasize is the backward design approach to planning for your course. In a nutshell, backward design starts with the results or the learning goals that you have for your particular students. These should be ambitious but measurable and attainable learning goals, and things that really excite your students, things that sort of align with their own goals and maybe the reason why they're taking your course. And then proceeds on to the next few steps, determining acceptable evidence, which is a way of figuring out how you're going to assess your students, how you're going to provide them with feedback, and how you're going to use that assessment to get them to the learning goals, before finally planning learning experiences and instruction. This last step tends to be the thing that we as instructors think of as course design. This is where we're picking texts and planning in-class activities, deciding what assignments the students are going to be completing over the course of the semester, actually writing out our rubrics, etc. So the backward design process kind of starts a few steps back and asks us at the very outset to really think about what our goals are and to use those to drive the design process. Now, empathy maps are actually something that weren't developed with respect to course design, but they're very useful for it. And what they do is they take the audience of whatever it is that you're designing, in this case, a college course, and they put the audience member, sort of the user, the end user, at the heart of the design process. So the idea is by getting to know who it is that you'll be teaching, and getting to know a little bit about their behavior, their goals, what they're hoping to get out of the class, what really excites and engages them, you can come up with learning goals that are going to be deeply meaningful for your students and the sort of thing that you can really get behind and endorse. I like to think of learning goals, especially course level learning goals, as promises that I make to the students when they walk through the door on day one, right? I say, okay, you're coming in here at this particular point. By the end of this course, you're going to be able to read Aristotle in a really sophisticated way, or you're going to be able to pick apart arguments that you find in the New York Times, right? These are promises that I'm making them by the time they finish. So here's today's exercise, and it's really brief, but I think it's really helpful and really useful. So we're borrowing right here a document that was created in Google Jamboard, which is just a sort of Google Docs format, by Kim Barker from Boise State University. So we're borrowing this exercise from her. She created this template. But in the template, we've divided the page up into 4 sections. And on the first page here, we've asked, who are my students as they walk into my class, right? What do they say? What do they think? What do they feel? And what do they do? And here's how you fill out the first half of the empathy map. So you go over here, you click sticky note, and then you start thinking for each of these categories, what are some answers that I'd put in here, right? You might think, okay, my students coming in are going to think philosophy is boring. Oh no, it's a sad one, but maybe it's true, right? Or maybe they think philosophy is too hard for me, right? And maybe that's something that they say, or maybe it's something that they feel, right? Or maybe it's something that they think, right? Okay. So the idea is generate as many sticky notes as possible. If you're working with a teaching team, have everybody collaborate. One of the cool things about Jamboard is you can all log in at the same time. And take 3 to 5 minutes to just generate as many sticky notes as you possibly can. All right, then you're ready to move on to step 2. In step 2, you take sort of the same idea, but you apply it to who you want your students to become. By the end of your course, it could be a year down the line. It could be 20 years down the line. How do you want them to relate to the course and the material that you've been dealing with in your philosophy course? So here, you might say things like, no, I want them to leave feeling like philosophy is interesting, right? You can get even more fine-grained. You want them to say, you might say, I want them to leave thinking philosophy helped me discern my career. Or you might want them to leave thinking, Descartes was right. I should be more skeptical. Okay. Once you've done this and once you've sorted these into the relevant quadrants, what we encourage people to do is to reflect on the differences between point A and point B, and to use this as a point of reflection that really allows you to craft learning goals that will help get your students from point A when they walk into your class to point B as they're walking out of their class or beyond, so that you're really meeting them where they're at, and you're designing a course that's engaging for them, while at the same time, helping them meet a lot of the learning goals that you as an instructor are coming in with. So this is a good exercise. We encourage you to check it out. I'm going to post two things in the comments of this video. First, I'm going to post the template for this Jamboard, so you can copy it over onto your own Google Drive, and you can actually try out this exercise on your own. I'm also going to post a helpful PDF here that we're borrowing from another source that just gives more big picture background on empathy mapping in general, and I think is very helpful. So thanks for watching today. And if you find this useful, let us know. We'll try to make more tutorial videos like this. We're also going to try to review some different ed tech tools and things like that. But if you find these tutorials helpful, make sure to comment on this post. And thanks so much for watching.